Before we begin the movie summary, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you receive all our new content. The story begins with a student named Michael, who is at school taking graduation photos. He is asked to write about the memories he will remember after graduation. However, he doesn't know what to write because, throughout his school years, he focused only on studying and attending lectures, and he didn't have any relationships with girls. When he looks at the failing students, he sees them happy and having fun. Michael decides to invite his friends to go out to the beach, but they refuse because he wanted them to skip class. After school, Michael returns home, and while taking out the trash, he sees a very beautiful girl getting out of her car and entering the house next door. Michael keeps staring at her, and when she looks at him, he bumps into the trash cans, making her laugh at him. Afterward, the girl goes inside, and Michael also goes into his house, goes up to his room, and talks to his friend, telling him about the girl he saw and trying to describe how beautiful she is. He also tells him that she lives next door, but he doesn't know her. Later, while Michael is talking to his friend, he sees the girl from her window changing her clothes, and he keeps watching her until she sees him and realizes he was spying on her. But the strange thing is that she comes to his house and meets his mother and father. Michael feels scared and worried, thinking she will cause trouble because she saw him spying on her. However, it turns out to be a completely different situation. She introduces herself as Sarah, the niece of his neighbor Claire, and says she has come from Los Angeles to stay with them for a while. After that, she asks Michael to take her on a tour around the city, and he agrees. During the tour, Michael apologizes to Sarah for what happened, but she tells him that since he saw her body without clothes, she should see him the same way. She asks him to take off his clothes in the street. Michael complies with her request, and she takes his clothes and leaves him walking in the street while people look at him, but she later returns, laughing at him, then takes him back to the car, and they go to a quiet place. After that, Michael asks Sarah about her work. She gets a bit nervous, then tells him she left her job and is thinking about going back to university. From the conversation, it becomes clear that she is not in a relationship, so Michael tries to show her that he's a reckless guy, but Sarah discovers that he is respectful and not reckless. Sarah starts liking Michael, and the next day, she goes to school and asks him to skip class so they can spend some time together. Michael agrees and leaves with her, and at night, they go to a swimming pool at a stranger's house, but they run away when the owner comes back. Later on, Michael takes Sarah to meet his friends and introduces her to them, and they are all impressed by her beauty. They all go to a party at the house of one of the failing students, and everyone shows interest in Sarah. Some students try to get Michael away from Sarah so they can be alone with her, but Michael comes closer to her and announces to everyone that they are in a relationship. The next day, Michael goes to school where his friend shows him a video of Sarah, telling him that she is an adult film actress. Michael is shocked by this revelation, and his friend tells him that he should have a relationship with her. Michael feels troubled and goes home, where he sees Sarah sitting with his mother. His mind starts imagining the bad things she did in her films, and his attitude toward her changes. At night, Michael takes Sarah to a hotel to have a relationship with her, but he feels upset and tells her that he found out she works in adult films, making her feel like she is a bad person. Sarah gets upset and leaves. Michael later tries to apologize to her, telling her that he loved her and respected the way he looked at her, but she rejects him and distances herself. After a while, Michael decides to go to Sarah's house to apologize to her, but she tells him that the way he looks at her makes her feel like a dirty person. Before we continue the movie summary, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to get all our latest content. Sarah tells him to leave now, and that they will talk later. Michael walks away, and then the strange man comes out to smoke a cigarette. When he sees Michael standing outside, he talks to him and introduces himself as Georgie, the producer of the adult films that Sarah works in. Michael gets closer to Georgie, to the point where he accompanies him when Georgie opens a bank account with $25,000. During that time, Georgie flirts with the bank employee, and when she asks Michael about him, he tells her that Georgie is his teacher at school. A few days later, Michael sees Sarah walking, and she tells him that she is going back to Los Angeles to return to her job, and that she will not come back to town. Michael goes to his friends, and decides to travel to Los Angeles to apologize to her, and try to convince her not to return to her job. They travel to Los Angeles and enter a nightclub for adult film actors and producers. Michael sees Sarah taking photos for her new film, and he calls out to her, trying to apologize and asking her to come back with him, but she walks away. As she leaves, she meets a man named Georgie, a big producer in the adult film industry, and Georgie comes and pulls her away from Michael. Afterward, Georgie confronts Michael and beats him up, threatening him that if he doesn't stay away from Sarah, he will hurt him because if he convinces her to leave the industry, Georgie will lose money. Despite this, Michael tries to talk to her again, but his friends cause a problem, and he has to escape. Before leaving, Michael gives Sarah a drawing he made of her in a respectful way and tells her that she is not what everyone thinks. Then he leaves with his friends, returning to their town. The next day, Sarah returns to town and goes to Michael to drive him to school. They arrive together at school and rekindle their relationship. They agree to go to a party at 6 p.m. Georgie, angry at Michael for making Sarah leave her job, takes Michael to a remote place and tells him that he lost $30,000 because of him. He beats him up, then apologizes and gives him a pill, telling him it will reduce the swelling. He also tells him that if he wants to leave them alone, he must help him steal from Georgie's house. Michael agrees to the deal, but when they enter Georgie's house, Georgie runs away and calls the police, accusing Michael of being a thief. However, Michael manages to escape before the police arrive. He meets his friends, but they start to feel strange about him because of his weird behavior. They all go together to pick up Sarah for the party. When Sarah sees Michael, she realizes that he took the pill Georgie gave him, and she tells him that this pill is only used in adult films to make a person completely unconscious. They arrive at the party, and Michael begins to act even stranger around the guests. He is asked to give a speech, and the person who gives the best emotional speech will be awarded a scholarship to the university of their choice. Michael talks about moral commitment, saying that commitment means loving someone and doing everything for them. You should love them as they are, with all their flaws and strengths. Everyone is moved by his words, including Sarah, and the audience applauds him. When the time comes to announce the scholarship winner, Michael is shocked when they announce another student's name. After the party, Michael goes to withdraw $25,000 from the bank, only to find out that Georgie had taken the money using his name because the bank employee trusted him after Michael told her that Georgie was his teacher. Before the employee informs her manager, Michael tells her that she is also at fault, and if anyone finds out what happened, she will go to jail with him. The employee gives him until Monday to return the money because he is still a minor and cannot withdraw the money himself now. Afterward, Michael tells Sarah everything that happened, and she takes him to Georgie to negotiate making an educational adult film. Sarah brings two of her actor friends, and they go to the school during the party, where some of the failing students see them and ask to become actors too. Michael takes them and films the video in the school library without anyone noticing. After finishing the video, they go out and market the video, and Michael makes a lot of money. In the end, he gets into the university he wanted and marries Sarah, and that's how our movie ends. Don't forget to support us by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the bell icon so you get all our new content.